I'm a savage. Classy, bougie, ratchet. Hey. Okay, so classy, bougie, ratchet, bold, and bougie. Okay? We are in here for episode 4, child. We got Crystal, we got Princess, we got Tamika, we got Goshay, and we got Malaysia. All right. Now look, Malaysia has been turning into Lakeisha Malaysia lately, child. She talking about she's all about togetherness and sisterhood and bringing the girls together, but she helping split the girls apart, ain't she? But we gonna get into it. Okay, so leaving off from where we left off last time. We have Dr. Princess, which is Malaysia's friend, and we have Shad, which is Crystal's friend, a guy. And then we have Miss Crystal. Now Malaysia's outside talking to Princess, trying to make Princess stand up to Tamika, right? And so on the inside, Crystal and the Princess are talking, and they're talking about, Crystal was just like, well, you came off like real aggressive and kind of messy, like, or whatever, and she was just like, well, Dr. Princess, well, I was going to say something to you, but I decided not to. And Crystal was just like, what was you going to say? And Dr. Princess was just like, well, this Crystal girl, she's a little loose, like. And so, Crystal, loose? What you mean loose? Crystal flipped out, child, her in her red cat suit, and got up and all that booty and hair, and went out the door. And Shad followed with her, and it was funny because Shad, when he came up to Malaysia, he was just like, well, you need to get your friend. Your friend is off the chain. And Malaysia's just like, what? Malaysia, child. Shad was just like, yeah, your messy friend, the Dr. Princess. Those two things don't even belong together, but hey, is Princess her real name? Is Princess on the show? Is that her real name? Is the Princess, is that their real names? I know some people name their kids Princess. I would never. But I would just wonder if that's their real names. So anyway. So child, they ended up going off, child. A little later on, Malaysia and Crystal, they met up at a little shop or whatever in a little clothing store, and Crystal wanted Malaysia to help her out with clothing and stuff because Malaysia dresses cute, etc., etc. And so she was just like, okay, girl, I help you or whatever, I guess. I mean, to each his own, it's fine. And she was just like, okay. Or Crystal just started to talk to Malaysia, and she was just like, like, I would never have one of my friends come at you. Like, I like you. Like, she was, Crystal's standpoint with the whole thing was that she felt like Malaysia kind of just let her friend loose on her in a sense. I don't know if she felt like Malaysia had something to do with it or what, but she was just like, basically, you should have kept your friend in check. And she also said, Crystal, to Malaysia, that if I have an event, just don't invite her. So Malaysia took offense to that. She was just like, well, you can't tell me who not to invite. And I don't think she meant it in the way that you're saying it, and blah, blah, blah. Malaysia just had her friends back, as she should. But, I think that Crystal approached Malaysia wrong in the sense of, you're trying to tell this grown woman how to tame another grown woman in a sense. Or trying to say, oh, well, I tell her what to do, or she listen to me, that kind of thing, which is not the case. Dr. Princess, I believe, is a hot mess on her own. And where Malaysia went wrong was that she didn't fully hear Crystal, because Crystal said, look, if the girl is just around, she's around. However, if I have this is how I took it, that Crystal was saying that if I have an event, would you please not invite your friend? Which is fair to say, because if it's my event, I get to pick and choose the people that I want at my event, correct? And Malaysia was just like, well, you can't tell me who to bring and blah, blah, blah. And Crystal was just like, okay, well, you just won't be there either. And that was that, child. Later on, they ended up making up at Tamika's event, and hugging each other. In Malaysia, she thought about it and she was just like, nah, let me chill because I wasn't there. She was outside talking to Princess. And so, yeah, so I was just like, okay. Let me see what else is going on. Gaucher, she actually met with the therapist that Dr. Heavenly met with season, I don't know, 6, 7, 5, whenever it was. And Gaucher and Dr. Heavenly are actually friends. I was just like, well, that makes sense, child. And so she started to talk about, her relationship with her kids. She has a son and a daughter. Her daughter's kind of back in her life. Her daughter has sons, I believe. And she's kind of back in her daughter's life. But with her son, she said she haven't spoken to him in like 3 years or seen him in like 3 years, something like that. But it's just a lot. She said that when she had went to jail, her kids got taken away from her. So she had to prove that she was a good mom. And she had to prove through the courts, that she was fit enough to take care of them. So she got in that hustle mentality and did her thing to get her kids back. But because she was so in that hustle mentality, and because I guess she was just so much in her own mind of providing, but also wanted to make her own dreams come true, she kind of lacked that love and emotional support, etc. She was a provider, but she was nothing else, right? And then she was just like, well, I couldn't be all that to them because it was never shown to me. And then she went on how when she was a child, she had a situation where she was taken advantage of. And she said, and the doctor, he was just like, well, you need to unpack that. You need to go back into your childhood and really get through all that because it's in a way spilling out on your kids, which is the advice that most therapists give. That, from what I've noticed, it seems that most of our issues as adults stem from something from our youth. And I think that it's just very important to just go back to the deep, dark place when you were vulnerable, when you were a child and you had no control and stuff. And nobody believed you when you said anything. You were kind of dismissed and disregarded and pushed off to the side and stuff. We all have those. We don't have the exact same experience, but a lot of us as people have similar experiences growing up as kids and teenagers. So we're gonna pray with Gaucher on that note with her kids and stuff. I'm sure that's a lot on her back. What else is going on? Malaysia Pargo. Just Lakeisha Malaysia. Malaysia met up with a lawyer. We found out that husband of hers, her ex-husband, have not been paying child support for 9 years. That lawyer was just like, oh, he might not have paid in the past, but he gonna pay today. And from here on out, he gonna start paying. Malaysia said the reason that she's never really enforced this whole child support thing is because she did not, I guess, want him upset with her. She wanted him to reach his goals and his dreams, even though he didn't give two shits about us and or the kids. And she was just like, I understand that you were in love with him, etc. But ma'am, you need your money and your children need their money. You deserve that. 9 years of not paying no child support, girl. She got to be on TV shows. They released a statement at the bottom and said that that's not true what Malaysia said, that allegedly the man has been paying child support, but he just asked for a smaller amount that he pays. I said, child, sir, you ain't paid for nothing, please. Let me see. What else is going on, child? We have Tamika. Tamika had an event. Tamika has not really been in the loop with the girls like that. She invited the girls over to her house for Friendsgiving. All the girls showed up. When Malaysia got there, she did not speak to Crystal, but like I said, they made up a little later on. Kinda. So Tamika brought the girls there. Malaysia starts to speak. Tamika's getting up, finding coasters, child. And Malaysia's just like, that can be read as real disrespectful. Like, you might want to chill, because, I'm not the one. I was just like, Lord, Lord, Lord. So Tamika sat down. She was just like, I need to think about that and work on that. And then Princess started to talk, and I think it was Gaucher probably that interrupted her. Gaucher is mad at Tamika because Gaucher said many off the wall disrespectful things to Tamika. But one of the things she said was that you're going to be married to your house and you're going to be in that house by yourself. And then Tamika's response was, at least it won't be a woman. Gaucher's married to a woman who don't want to be filmed, who don't want to be on camera or whatever. She said she took offense to that. She didn't like how Tamika said that. And I can understand Gaucher taking offense to that. Of course, it was meant to be offensive. But Gaucher, you started it with Tamika at the end of the day. You can't do something to somebody and then tell them how mad to get. I don't know what people be thinking. Like, you, just because something is not a big deal to you doesn't mean that it's a big deal to somebody else. It's a sparring match. It's a battle. It's we're reading each other. So if you're going to go low, and whatever I deem is low, then I'm going to hit you where it hurts. I mean, it's just a sparring match. Look, I didn't find any issue with what Tamika said to Gaucher, even though I am LGBT, only because Gaucher started it. You brought that girl to that park and started going in on her immediately. And for what? For what? And you and Tamika have been friends for a long time. I'm like, well, why are y'all even still friends? Because Tamika has been Tamika, from the same dry personality, the same dismissive behavior, the same I don't care and just say whatever kind of attitude, the same bluntness, the same. Tamika's always been like that. She's been like that since Atlanta Exes. Okay, since I've known of Tamika, she's always been like that. So, she's gonna tell you how T.I. is, and that's it. I mean, I don't get it. What's the problem now? So, they talked about that, child. What else? The friends ended up coming in, child. Found out that also Tamika did not tell them that she was also filming a podcast, which is another way for her to not talk to them because other people is coming and she filming a podcast, so she ain't got to deal with them. But production probably made her have this little gathering to bring them there, child. I said, child, please. Tamika, I don't know why Tamika on the show. Tamika don't want to be bothered with them. You can totally tell. It's funny, though. Let me see. What else was going on? I don't like how the ladies are kind of pressuring Princess to stand up for herself. Princess has been Princess for a long time. That woman has accomplished a lot. She is a boss. She is this in her own right. But I didn't like that. And then for Malaysia in particular to be like, oh, well, basically we're going to bully you or pick on you because you're seen as the weak link and you don't stand up for yourself. It's just like, no, Malaysia, this is not elementary school. Like, that's not what you do. Let's just pick on the quiet kid, or let's just pick on the kid that we know that we can do something to, and they're not going to do nothing. You don't do that as adults. You know better. You know how that feels. Most people at some point in their life have been bullied, and some of y'all kids are being bullied. And it's just, why would you do that as an adult voluntarily, And, I didn't like that. Princess will speak up when she feels like a child. And then they keep trying to get her to speak up to Tamika, What has speaking up to Tamika gotten y'all? Tamika don't care. Y'all act like y'all doing something by speaking up to Tamika. Child, please. So what else is going on? So it's Gaucher, Princess, and Crystal. They're downstairs talking. And then we see this lady walking back and forth, which is Tamika's assistant, I believe. So anyway, the lady ended up telling Tamika about what the girls said about her because apparently she was in the closet and apparently somebody else heard what they had to say too. I mean, it wouldn't be hard to find out what they had to say. They was just downstairs and they were sitting right there by the stairwell. So, I mean, it wouldn't be hard to hear them. And then everybody was drinking. So, and sometimes when you're drunk or drinking, you don't realize you're as loud as you are. So they could have definitely legit heard, what was happening. But the assistants, they messed up some of the coding, some of the words as to what Gaucher was saying. They put one person's response and pasted with Gaucher, and that wasn't cool. The person who said something about ghetto, like bringing a plate home as ghetto, was the princess. So, that wasn't right, how they did that. How the girls interpreted it. Let me see. So we have Malaysia, Goshay, and Tamika. Tamika comes in last. Malaysia asked Goshay, "Do you like Tamika?" She said, "Absolutely." Malaysia asked Tamika, "Do you like Goshay?" She said, "I don't know." After today, and it's because Tamika's harboring feelings about what the assistant said about that they was basically dogging her party, dogging her Friendsgiving, etc. I don't think there was probably some of that going on, but that was lightweight. They was talking about all kind of different things down there. So whoever the assistant is, stop being extra messy, added sauce on it. But when somebody already don't like you, all they need is just a little small reason to get you on up out or whatever. Let me see. Well, Goshay, she denied it. She was just like, "No, I said some things, but I didn't say everything." Child, when Goshay get mad, she turned into a street dude. Don't she? I say, ooh. All right, Goshay. Oh, let me see. Goshay's apparent biggest issue with Tamika is that she'll do something, and she texts her feelings a lot through text message instead of just standing up and saying it to the people's face. Apparently. Let me see. Yeah, I think that was it. This is a pretty good episode. I'm liking the show. Let me see. The producers asked Tamika some advice for Goshay, and she told her to get her some D. Child, I got to go. With that said, I'm Mr. Chalaki. Mr. Chalaki on Google Plus. Follow me at Skizzo on Instagram and Twitter, at Skizzo89 on Snapchat, Chase King on Facebook, Mr. Chalaki on Cash App, PayPal, and TikTok. And as always, run me my money or run me my fade. Run me my money the way I get paid. Stay black, stay tuned, and I'll see you guys later. Bold and Bougie.